Arrow. Okay. Oh yeah, there we go. Recording. Okay, thank you.
Oh, and also,
Are you guys on Zoom hearing an echo? Should I mute everybody? Or are you guys here? Yeah. So that you guys. Okay.
how about ours?
How do you do that?
Okay, so we want to officially welcome everybody to, I know we already started and did a little bit of the Haggadah, but before we go any further, I'm going to officially acknowledge our sponsors. So, it's sponsored by Cheryl Wasserman and David Wasserman in their father's memory.
Wow.
Shmuel Samuel Wasserman, Shmuel Yaakov Ben Meir, and his yard site is coming up on the 29th of B'Shvat. We thank you again for being so gracious, and may your father's Shama and the schus of this Torah learning and everything else that we're doing have another beautiful month of this coming yard site. So we are now up to the description of worlds. We will be handing out the Haggadot in a few minutes. Once the food is cleared away and the fruits come out, but I will read to you in the meantime. Worlds. We define. We define a world in terms of three things: time, space, and self.
And what?
Self, like you yourself, and I. So before exploring the four worlds, we must explore these three concepts. Time is the ongoing sequence of events. Leon is a physicist, so he's gonna be paying careful attention to everything we get wrong, and he'll get back to me and let me know if anything is right. In the simplest sense, it's how we measure in seconds, in minutes, hours, days, weeks, months, and years. Later on, we'll quote from the great physicists like Sally Fogler, who automatically know all the science and philosophy. Somehow, they just magically know it, you know?
It's all relative.
That's what's great about being Israeli. God just gives you the gift of knowledge.
Absolutely.
No limits.
Make it till you make it.
Exactly.
He just gifts you.
You know everything.
Like,
Yeah.
you just, here, you're Israeli, I'm gonna give you the gift of knowledge. Solomon. King Solomon wasn't, he was the first Israeli. He was like, God's like, what can I give you? He's like, just give me all knowledge, all knowledge. Okay, space refers to the dimensions of height, depth, and width in which all things exist and move, almost all things. It can be as large as a universe, a galaxy, or a solar system. It can also refer to Earth, a single continent, a country, a city, a block, a home, a room. Every tiny cell, an atom, takes up space. Self, as Leon asked, what is that? That's a good question. That might be the last frontier. That's what we call consciousness, whether of a human being or a soul or an angel. Now we get to the world of Asiyah. The world is called the world of action. Time, space, and self are not as static as one might think. According to Einstein's theory of relativity, the bend in space caused by gravity. So far, so good, Leo?
Yep.
The bend in space caused by gravity.
Yeah.
I looked it up just so I don't get into trouble, like the head of Harvard. We have one of the great prestigious rabbis of the Harvard Hillel here. So I don't want to get into trouble. So I got this from the internet, probably Wikipedia. And I forgot to put the quotation marks, and I am in trouble. I am not going to be the head of a major university anymore because of this next line. I stole it from Einstein, but I did quote him.
You can be the president of Harvard.
No, I can't. The bend in space caused by gravity can actually affect the speed of light. In addition, in quantum theory, the simple act of observing a particle can cause it to behave as a wave rather than a particle. What we see from this is that time, space, and self actually relate to each other and affect each other to the point in which time and space and self are no longer distinct entities, but rather like different body parts that together make up a whole. In this world, the world of Asiya, these three, so to speak, quote, body parts, unquote, are bound by the laws of physics. And by the way, that's a pretty cool thing, to be bound by the laws of physics, except when they're not, right? Like, how did they come into being? Were they bound then by the laws of physics? These are questions that are beyond my pay grade. That's why we're told not to talk about or think about what happened before. Okay, the world of Asiya means action. This is the world where a soul is intertwined with a body and needs to apply itself to making the world a better place through correct actions. While good intentions are very important, they're not enough to create the transformation of the darkness of this world into light and the bitterness into sweetness. The Torah, or lessons that we are given, aim to enable us to transform ourselves and the time and space that we inhabit. The individual person is given opportunities to improve the world through mitzvot, such as tzedakah, charity, giving to those in need, acting kind towards the stranger, visiting the sick, honoring the elderly, respecting parents. I'm getting harder as I go further in.
Which part, the respecting parents?
Yes, correct. You read what I read. Not because we have any issues. And creating a just society of law-abiding citizens who treat one another with dignity while honoring the less fortunate. One day every week, Shabbat, we can get in touch with the divine and recognize that time, space, and self are created and have a source in God and continue to be in a relationship with God. This weekly reflection allows people to connect to their deeper selves, transforming their inner world by recognizing the divine source of all. This also creates a community of people who together can search out God in prayer and ritual, mitzvah. Each of the holidays of the Torah commemorates a special historical moment, but they're also so much more than that. The holidays are opportunities to connect to certain spiritual energies, such as freedom, inspiration, rededication, forgiveness, joy, and gratitude. The mitzvah action of each holidays are key to understanding these principles. For example, eating matzah on Passover allows us the real experience of going free from slavery to freedom. Sitting in a sukkah on Sukkot allows us to find joy in the simple things in our lives. Hearing the shofar on Rosh Hashanah awakens us to rededicate ourselves to a higher calling. Since we are human beings, we function not as robots, but as combinations of intellect, emotions, and action. This system is seen by the Kabbalists as a reflection of a divine system called the 10 Sefirot, on page 7. The first three of the 10 Sefirot are: 1, will, called Keter; 2, wisdom, or called Chachma; 3, understanding, or called Bina. Those are the cognitive abilities. The Sefirot continue with our 6 emotional capabilities. 4 is loving kindness, we call that Chesed. 5 is judgment, we call that Gvura. 6 is compassion, we call that Tiferet, or harmony. Number 7 is the desire to win and overcome. That's called Netzach, like when you win a war. It's also translated as endurance. Nitzachon, right? Number 8 is empathy, or hod. And number 9 is bonding, yesod. And the last of the spirit is number 10, actualization, when our thoughts and feelings turn into words and deeds. In the world of Asiya action, most of our thoughts and feelings revolve around what we need to do to survive. But as we rise up the ladder of consciousness into higher worlds, the focus will turn from external change and survival to the inner sense of connectivity and ultimately unity with the divine source. Fruits. First, I will read to you the fruits, and then we will deliver the fruits. We thank Reina and Chili for working hard. for tonight's beautiful dinner. We thank Sherry, who also came in to help organize the fruits today. It's quite a fruitful production, as you will see. We got almost every single fruit on the list.
Fruit of the labor.
The fruit of our labor, yeah. Okay, so the fruits that are coming up of the World Asiyah, they have a hard, inedible shell that protects the inner fruit. The outer shell is called a klipa, or plural klipot, which Kabbalistically means the animalistic tendencies that both preserve our existence and threaten it when not integrated properly. While a shell protects what's inside, it also deters. For example, it can protect the fruit, but it also can make it inaccessible if it's hard to open the shell. When one breaks through, or it could hurt your teeth when you try to break a shell with a hard shell with your teeth. When one breaks through the outer shell, when one can't break through the outer shell, you can't access that which is good inside. Choose from the following: pomegranates, walnuts, pecans. This is like the menu. The waiter comes to you and says, choose from the following. You can have all of them, but to make it feel like you don't have to, there's no pressure here. Choose. It's your choice. Brazil nuts, hazelnuts. It sounds like a list of great chocolate. Hazelnut chocolate, chestnut chocolate, pine nuts. That sounds like you're back in California. Coconuts and almonds. Back to the chocolate. Okay, wine. Like at the Passover Seder, when we celebrate our freedom, the Kabbalists were accustomed to drinking four cups of wine, corresponding to the four worlds. On Tu B'Shvat, for the first world of Asiyah, we use white wine. Peter, we want to thank Peter. Peter, we thank you for getting the white wine, as well as the red wine. What? Time for the white wine, yes. Peter went to, I think, Fairway. Everything else is from Aaron's. or Raina made it. But, so why white wine? The white reminds us of the whiteness of the winter, especially in January. It's a little weird celebrating Tu B'Shvat in New York in the winter, let's be honest. It's like as cold as it gets, but it's about to turn the corner.
Yeah.
It's about to turn the corner. The harshest of our four seasons, in which fields seem to lie dormant, but underneath the hibernation, there is a potential for renewal that will come in the spring, when the snow will melt into water and cause the trees to flourish. I'm going to just hold this up. This is the first world, as you see all those various variety of nuts, as well as pomegranate and coconut, which is not a nut, even though it has, somehow a coconut got a nut. I mean, it's got the hardest shell you can have. It's a misnomer. Yeah.
Coconut from off the tree is pretty formidable.
Yes.
With all the green stuff
It's
around
very hard.
it.
It's got two layers at least.
Yeah, you need a machete
It's
to
heavy.
get rid of all that stuff.
So food and spirituality. In this world, food serves two purposes. On the one hand, we use our senses to enjoy the food and the people we share it with. And on the other hand, we create meaning out of our food. Whether it's a wedding banquet or Shabbos or holiday dinner, we elevate the experience of eating from a survival task, even an enjoyable one, to something celebrational and even transcendent. Before we eat this fruit, let us give thanks to the source, the Holy One, blessed be He, and His many messengers, who were involved in helping to plant, sow the soil, harvest the fruits and nuts, transport them safely. There's a lot that goes into getting the fruit from the soil to the table right here. Right? There's a lot that went into that. and brings them from where they were grown and cultivated to our table. Let us allow the energy that has been put into these fruits and nuts that are before us to enter into this moment when we hope to make this fruit into part of our spiritual growth. In simple English, everything we're doing tonight is the idea of taking physical food and having the intention that we use it and transform its energy into holiness and spirituality by the good things we'll do with the vitality we receive from the fruit. You can really do that at any time of the year. It doesn't have to be Tu B'Shvat. But Tu B'Shvat is particularly appropriate to have these kavanot, these intentions, to elevate the fruit by the intentions we have of who we're gonna become, what these fruits will inspire us to do. So go ahead and help yourself to the fruits. We're going to do a nigun while we're no, do not make, please all wait, we'll do it together. That way we'll have a special intention. Don't eat the fruits yet, I know it's really hard. It's like chowing down. And we'll make this little opening kavanah, and then we'll make the bracha together. Let's also give out the Haggadah at this point. Beautiful. Thank you, Noah. Let's give a big round of applause for Noah Solomon, who helps elevate this beautiful night. Okay, so we're going to pour ourselves a little grape juice. so the prayer before the eating of the fruit of the world of Asiya. So you know there's a law in the Talmud, in the Shulchan Aruch, that when you eat a fruit, you don't have the fruit on the table when you make the blessing. You pick the fruit up by the hand.
Like a guitar player.
And the Kabbalists, and even not the Kabbalists, explain if you're gonna eat that particular fruit, you're making the blessing, even though it'll, be on you'll make the blessing on that fruit and the fruit next to it, but you're like in a relationship with that apple. So for example, listen to this. If you make the bracha on the apple, and before you can eat the apple, it falls out of your hand into the mud, and you say, oh, that's too bad, I'll get another apple. You have to make a second bracha. Because the relationship between you and that apple it's real. It means that you made the bracha on that apple. And that apple isn't here, you gotta make another bracha. Crazy, right?
No, logical.
People don't realize our relationship with that apple. So I'm gonna pick up a little fruit here. Not yet. May it be your will that through the eating of these fruits, we unify the Holy One, blessed be He, and the Shekhinah. Through the eating of this fruit, may I rectify within my own soul some part of my relationship with the world of action, with consumption and food. That I may have energy to do good in the world, so that I may elevate the sparks which have fallen into this world, so they may be extracted from their shells and rise, so that the light of Tohu may be reintegrated into the world of Tikkun. I
Imachem devarim ayu eshuvu el Hashem kechu imachem devarim shuv eshuvu el Hashem kechu imachem devarim ayu eshuvu
Take the cup of wine, make a bracha just on this wine. Only have in mind what's right in front of you. I
Where's Chui Machanas? Yaakov Khan is.
It's the Haftarah of Shabbos
With
Shuvah.
permission,
Oh,
I want to talk a little bit about trees and beautiful things.
Come over here.
They can see you on Zoom.
They can hear you, but they can't see you unless you come here. Look at the camera.
That's what I say about God all the
Look
time.
at the camera.
So, I grew up in Israel in the fields, working the fields, the farms, and I have great respect to the vegetables, tzomeach. We have three classes in this world. We have living things, we have inanimate thing, that's what I call it, inanimate.
Yeah.
And then we have the green, The truth is that we don't have much respect to the green. I think that when we break a branch or we break a 2x4, I think we don't think, oh, the branch is alive. We don't really have much respect. But if you think about it, without the green stuff, we wouldn't be able to breathe. We wouldn't be able to celebrate our holidays. They elevate us. They are tools for holiness. They are instruments of Kedusha. The schach and the sukkah, the etrog, the lulav, they look like symbolic, but they are the center of our life. The oil that comes from the olives from the tree. The grapes that give us our wine come from, the vines. We have to be, I think, in being more alert and aware of how valuable or what value these things have to our life will train us to be more empathic and sensitive as human beings to our environment, not only because of global warming, but because of just who we are. We have to live in the full world that is beyond our Dalas Amos. And I think when I was in Israel, I just love the trees. I love it. It's like, to me, it's where I grew up. And I wish that I could just transmit it to you, how beautiful it is to feel this way about anything in God's world. Thank you.
oh, thank you.
Beautiful, that was so nice. And it goes, timing is perfect, because we're going to continue reading on page 10 in the 2018 edition.
10?
Yeah, and if you're following online, it's page 11.
11.
Page
Page 11 is tiny.
page 12. Rabbi Tarfon likened the people of Israel to a pile of walnuts. If one walnut is removed, every walnut in the pile will be shaken.
Huh?
Page 10, page 10.
Page 10.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, he's got it. He's got it there on one side.
He's got the wrong one. Everyone else has a different thing.
No, he's also.
Yeah, just him.
No.
Okay. Which ones did you give out, Peter? The 2021 and the 2018? Okay. It's already like there's the art scroll and there's the. We've got two editions and we're already confused. Yeah, when a single Jew is shaken, every other Jew is shaken and affected. That's Avot Rabbi Nassim. And likewise, when a single species is in danger, the entire ecosystem is shaken and affected. The northern ancient forests with their down logs, snags, and broken top trunks, beds of moss, and lichen, towering canopies of branches and leaves and cool streams provide homes for martins, fishers, coho salmon, marbled murrelet, can't read this stuff, and northern spotted owl. When the coho salmon, the owl, and the murrelet are endangered, the ancient forest is crying. Okay, I guess this is like controversial today, so whatever your preference is. If you want it to cry, let it cry.
Why specifically the walnut?
I don't know, that has something to do with like,
Because it looks like a brain, it's supposed to be good for.
yeah, it does look like a brain, they say that. It has something to do with like when you move one of them.
Is that true for anything?
Walnuts more than most. I mean, I've tried it. I've spent a year. The science is not out yet. They're building a consensus
It's like a
about
left and a right side.
how unique is the walnut in this regard.
It's like a left and a right side of the brain.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. It is pretty cool how it looks like the brain. Rabbi Nachman of Breslov said, if a person kills a tree before its time, it's like having murdered a soul. That's he's pretty poetic. Pomegranates, Rimonim. In the Song of Songs, Shir Hashirim, we read, "Come, my beloved, let us see if the pomegranates are in bloom." The rabbis comment, these are the children who are busy learning Torah. They sit in rows like pomegranate seeds. Thus, the gleaming red pomegranate seeds remind us that we too must be attentive to study Torah and learn how much we can take care of the world. Children are crowns of the Torah, adorning it just as silver, rimonim, pomegranates adorn the top of the Torah scroll. Now we have a song, Esa Enai, Psalm 121, which is traditionally read in a time of distress, which unfortunately we've been reading it a lot lately, every day.
Yes,
tells us when you lay siege to a city, you must not cut down its fruit trees. The rabbis derive this, or from this, the law of Bal Tashchit, not destroying resources. While it should be obvious that we are stewards of the earth and are responsible for its upkeep, it's not always a simple matter when environmental issues collide with our own financial concerns. The way of the Torah is to assess colliding interests and values against one another and come up with a halacha, a path along which we reconcile the irreconcilable. In our lifetime, the laws of how to balance our own needs with those of the environment are in their infancy. Yet much wisdom already exists to help us chart a course. This is based on something I studied with the director of Hillel of Santa Cruz 27 years ago.
Wow.
Wow.
The Ramban comments that we can understand the mitzvah of sending away a mother bird before taking her chicks, and the mitzvah of not slaughtering a mother cow and her calf on the same day, as prohibiting against the extinction of a species. The act of destroying two generations at the same time shows a lack of respect for the perpetuation of a species. God allows us to partake of this world, but not in a way that uproots it. Following this reasoning, we can understand the need for not destroying the rainforest and for honoring endangered species. Perhaps not cooking a kid in its mother's milk teaches the same lesson. While many observant Jews are content to practice without contemplating the, quote, tamei mitzvah, the purpose of the mitzvah, many of the great scholars saw great value in explaining the meaning and significance of each mitzvah. What can we do to fulfill this obligation according to the Ramban? We must bring our attention to finding effective ways to preserve our environment. 5 things that you can do to help the environment. I've been reading this also for many years, so you can update, bring in additional things into your own life. Number 1 is check www.seafoodwatch.org. It's run by the Monterey Bay Aquarium. It's a pretty cool website.
Oh.
Before eating fish, to make sure your food is sustainable. I think herring is like pretty good. Mackerel is good.
Only if it comes from Brooklyn.
Yeah.
Gefilte is also fine.
Gefilte fish, one of the safer fish. Number 2 is reuse bags when you go shopping. This is written before they charge you for bags. Number 3, recycle bottles, paper and aluminum, and limit use of bottled water. Number 4 is limit beef consumption. That's why we only had chicken. Number 5 is buy green appliances. Okay. Now we go into the world of Yetzirah. Page 13, or if you're following online, it is also page 13. In the world of Asiyah, the focus is on the mitzvot of the Torah, externally measurable activities, but the goal is to move beyond the simple act of observance and begin to experience the love and awe of divine service. While the world of action is not empty of emotions, they're often so bound up to the material experience that it's hard to separate them, to get a pure sense of an emotion rising above the physical response. The second world is known as the world of Yetzirah, formation. In this world, the 6 emotional sphere of loving kindness, judgment, compassion, desire to win and overcome, empathy, and bonding are the framework for understanding the concepts of time, space, and self. As we enter into the digital age, many new facets of technological connectivity, such as Facebook. Again, this is written a long time ago. Now it would be
TikTok.
yeah,
TikTok.
exactly.
Yeah.
Allow us to have virtual friends who we may never have actually met. The online community does not have the structure of buildings, but it constitutes a different type of space. In fact, we are constantly redefining space. Now using it to refer not just to spatial distance, but to distance in the world of ideas. Entering into the second world, we realize that space can be more loosely defined to encompass those to whom we feel spiritual or emotional connection. In the world of formation, physical space recedes and is replaced by the type of non-spatial space. It's like a virtual world inhabited by angels and souls. The relationship to one another help define the spaces that distance them or bring them together. The Kabbalists call the spaces the world of palaces or chambers, called hechalot. Those involved in the Maaseh Merkavah, work of the Divine Chariot, write extensively about traveling into dimensions that were vast and elaborate, thrilling and terrifying. In some ways, they modeled the greatest ability to imagine traveling through space, and yet what they were trying to describe is the longing and awe of entering into the sacred space of the second world. In simpler words, when you feel very close to somebody who's many miles or perhaps even generations away, that closeness may be entering into this dimension. Of course, it's not a full entry because you're still bound by the world of action and its laws, but you may have touched a portal into this dimension. Time. In this world, time isn't defined by the physical movement of the sun and moon, but more by the subtle perception of change within an emotional framework. The self of the world of Yitzirah refers to the spiritual beings, like the souls, the angels, which are embodiments of these emotions. Meditation on compassion for the soul. It is easy to recognize when our bodies feel bad, and to have compassion for ourselves that makes us want to fix whatever is wrong. But our neshamot, our souls, are also in great need of compassion. Our spiritual lives are often so frugal that our souls are starving to be nurtured. Our worldly concerns too often take us away from the matters of the spirit. In this meditation practice, we turn our feelings of compassion inward to our soul. Okay, so let's do that meditation. We're on page 14. So just close your eyes for a moment.
Hold on to your one.
Picture yourself next to a flowing river, and along the river are beautiful gardens, rose bushes, ferns, many grasses of different colors, green and yellow and orange. You hear the water. The water is coming from a distant mountain. Esa einai Elohim ve'ayin yavo ezri. Lift up your eyes and see. In the distance is a great mountain from which flows the river. Me'ayin, from the no-thingness, from the thing that we can't even know how it comes into this world. Yavo Ezri, the Hapyamid flows from there. And as the little streams stream down the mountain, come into a beautiful river, and along the river, oh, so many things, which then in turn water and nourishment to the fields, to the trees, to the fruits, to the vegetables, and to you. How wonderful, how wonderful it is to see that in the trees and in the leaves and in everything around you, God is giving you the gift of His love, the gift of His love, to know that you are loved. What does a parent want to do for their child? Not just to give them everything, but to give them everything that they themselves can be a part of making, so that the child feels that they're going to grow up and be their own adult. So too God gave us a world, and sometimes He has to hide behind the curtain so that we on our own can become adults. But sometimes it's so hard. The world is so hard. The world is so cold, and you feel all alone. But the truth is, and maids min harakim hine ze omer achakos leinu. God is still there. God is hiding, waiting for you to make your step as an adult. So here we are. We're actually in an island that's surrounded by rivers. You can open your eyes now. Right down the street is the Hudson. Underneath us this is a land of rivers. And I know it's not Eretz Yisrael, but there's a law that when you acquire a field in America, if you want to also acquire, the guy who owns the field in America also owns a field in Israel. When you acquire the field in America, remember we learned this, Rabbi Newman, a little bit, right? Daf Yomi on the bus to Washington. You also acquire simultaneously the field in Israel, if that's the agreement. The question is why? They're not connected, because they are. It's all of the crust of the earth. It's one earth. It's one earth. So even though we're outside of Israel, we're still connected to the land of Israel. This is the teaching of Reb Tzadok HaKohen of Lublin.
Wow.
So we got to have compassion on ourselves, but also realize that sometimes we are like young adults struggling in our teenage years, not wanting to be left, not wanting our parents to let us grow up. But our parent, our mother, our father in heaven is still connected to us, whether we see it clearly or it's hidden. It's still there. And the world of Yitzhira, the main experience is that of love, awe, compassion, strength, empathy, and connectivity in our relationship with the divine. It's important to have a healthy, loving relationship, not just with the people in our lives, but with the divine. While even the action mitzvahs are supposed to be done with intention and emotion, the mitzvahs of the world of formation deal specifically with the realm of faith and feelings, with emotions that make us want to connect to God. We won't pause because we already did the guided meditation. We now take the fruits. We're ready for the fruits of the second world. Thank you, Raina and Chili. The fruits of this world have soft, edible outside with a hard pit on the inside. This represents the more accessible energy of the world of formation. It's more easily approachable once we move past our focus on physical necessities and begin to develop our softer, more emotional side. However, there's still a pit. Many emotions, if not balanced, will end up with some klipa, some inaccessible element. While the world of emotions is in theory a balanced world in which there should be no shortcomings, there is work to be done. Choose from the following. It's the waiter's reading you the menu of what's about to come. Dates, olives, apricots, plums, peaches, persimmons, loquats. I'm not sure if we located the loquats. Jujubes, we could not find that. Cherries, we have everything else. We have Jews. Did we have the jujubes? Well, this is the persimmon, right?
Yeah.
Okay, we got almost everything. The jujubes are, they're elusive, yeah. So let's, and the wine of the second world is white with a little bit of red. This reminds us of spring when the coldness of winter gives way to more sunshine and a reawakening of our emotions. In comparison to the starkness of winter and the harshness of the materialistic world. So everybody help yourself to the fruits. Wait so we can make the little prayer and the bracha together. Yes, everybody should have dates. They need the dates. let's do the blush. Okay, so the wine we're gonna use is, we'll do the light grape juice, a little bit of the blush, mix them together. So it's light with a touch of red. Okay. What? Yeah, we did the fruits first. I'm just giving you the menu. What's about to happen. So we're gonna do the special bakasha. May it be your will. May it be your will that through the eating of these fruits, may I rectify within my own soul some part of my relationship with the world of formation, with consumption and food, so that I may have the energy to do good in the world, so that I may elevate the sparks which have fallen into the world, so that they be extracted from the shells and rise, so that the light of Tohu may be reintegrated into the world of Tikkun. I actually did not make shachiyanu last time because I didn't have anything to make a shachiyanu on. But now I have persimmon and dates. Hey,
Fruit of the vine or the fruit of the vine? The fruit of the vine.
Some words furniture. That's your other word.
What's that again?
The distinction. The distinction. When you talk about the fruit of the land, you don't say yes. You want to say that this one has a
the red. More white and red.
More festivus.
Maybe a moon break.
Okay, let's make a bracha on the grape juice now. Pour yourself some grape juice. That's the mix. You could just have a little bit. You can have that or
Pre-mixed?
pre-mix.
Oh, wait, now I wait.
Red and the white, red and like a moon break.
Okay, we've got our grape juice.
So are you. So am I.
Emotions are like the trees in the jungle, wildly beautiful, but rugged and sometimes dangerous. An example of a healthy balance of emotions can be seen in the great sequoia redwoods. The roots do not go down very deep, but they create an interlocking grid through which all the trees support each other. They hold each other's hands. This system keeps them standing tall even through powerful winds, storms, floods, and earthquakes. And fire, I didn't put that in.
Fire.
Yeah, they've got fire retardant. Redwoods are a marvel of individuality and interconnectivity. They are the largest living things on the planet. They're able to obtain those individual heights because at their very foundation, they hold on to one another. The soil for human beings is made of the contributions of the parents, both biological and nurturing, and teachers, and the environment that cultivates their growth. A healthy and loving support system with family and friends giving each other encouragement serves to nurture people, to obtain their individual goals while remaining part of the environment that birthed and raised them. Rabbi Nachman. Every tree and every herb plays a musical note. The note it plays is the unique quality of its inner point. The shepherd is conducting all the various musical notes and creates a beautiful orchestra of sound, ushering in a time of harmony when the individual sounds will weave seamlessly into the grand symphony. We'll do that song now, since we mentioned Rabbi Nachman.
2016.
There's a nice song about the pomegranate.
Rabbi,
Yes.
I've just the poet. Can I, since I'm a recent American, can I just?
We have a new American here.
Oh, really? November 30th.
Come and speak. Come to the video. Go speak to the video.
So, as a new American, I thought I just wanted to add these very few lines by well-known
Just so they can see on Zoom if you can.
by Henry Wadsworth Longfellow. But I will finish it with this thought. Ye who love the haunts of nature, love the sunshine of the meadow, love the shadow of the forest, love the wind among the branches, and the rain shower and the snowstorm and the rushing of great rivers. Through their palisades of pine trees and the thunder in the mountains, whose innumerable echoes, that like eagles in their eyries, listen to these wild traditions, to this song of Hiawatha.
Wow.
Or Avaya, maybe. It's the song of Hiawatha.
Hiawatha. That's either Longfellow or Wadsworth.
Okay, so,
Thank you.
beautiful. And also, I just want to say one thing. This Sunday at the JCC, David and I and the JCC, Gabriel's one of the presenters, are going to be hosting a day of learning Kabbalah, the Kabbalah of Rabbi Ashlag. Fascinating. We will not regret spending time with us on Sunday.
I'll be there.
With Moshe Idel, Noah Solomon will be there. Chaim Miller. It's going to be a very special day. So please join us.
דע לך שכל רואה ואוהב יש לו ניגון מיוחד משלו. דע לך שכל עשר ועשר
26.
יש לו שירה מיוחדת משלו.
Nigun with the birds. I don't know what that one is. Any idea?
Which was Nigun of the Birds, you know that? No? Is that what that is? I think
That's
what they
Nigun
call it.
Simcha. Yeah.
Okay, do that.
Yeah, let's do that.
Okay. And it's gonna be key for everybody.
Did you find that in here? I didn't, it's there.
Everything's in there.
The amazing thing about a tree is the language that scientists use to discover where something belongs is also a tree, right?
Yeah, tree of.
Whatever they don't call it, it is the tree of knowledge, but it's a tree, so.
And I thought that trees also represent Kabbalah because they just receive, they don't have we don't hear their voice, but we see the results of what they receive. We see in them what we put out there.
Trees are
They eat carbon.
they exactly, we wouldn't exist without them, so. But anyway, let's go to the world of Bria on page 19. Or page. Page 20 in the 2022 edition. Page 19 in what you guys have here in front of you. The world of Bria. Give me a little harmony here. No, I don't know what we're doing. Let's keep this going to give me something to give me. As we ascend the spiritual ladder of consciousness, that which was previously unconscious becomes revealed. That which was underneath the surface is exposed. As we reveal the mysteries, we enter into the tikkun, the fixing of the mochen of the mind. Many of our thoughts, feelings, and actions come about due to the misuse of our intellectual gifts. The world of Bria, creation, understanding, is where we begin to see the individualized self and where we have the potential to become more inspired and to readjust our thoughts and feelings based on a more divinely aware intellect. Basically, when you enter into the world of Bria, you're individuated, as we use in psychology. You're a full, you're not just part of your environment anymore. When you were in Yetzirah, emotions are a reaction to your environment. But in the world of Bria, you stand on your own two legs. The world of Bria is also the world of Bina, because that's when you understand something. Like a Torah scholar who could understand the world, can understand the problems that we have, what the solutions are. God gave us the gift of intellect so that we could reach some level of divine understanding. This is the intersection between the creator and the created. The mind is subjective and self-aware, and therefore prone to self-absorption. But it's also capable of abstraction, of philosophy, science, and ultimately the divine. When the human mind aligns with the divine understanding, one is absorbed back into the cosmic womb of Bina. We come out renewed and reconnected with a new understanding that can bring about positive changes to our emotional selves. Understanding our lives and the lives of those closest to us help us overcome obstacles and grow spiritually. Fruit. The fruit of the world of Bria are completely edible inside and out. They represent the lack of klipot, the lack of negativity that would need to be overcome. Choose from the following: grapes, carobs. This is a big year. We actually got carobs. Berries. We have a lot of berries, including strawberries, which I didn't order the strawberries because strawberries are hadama. They're hadama, strawberries. You don't make it's like a vegetable. Apparently they're fake berries. Are they not really berries? Strawberries? It's just like a borrowed term. Gabriel, you know. By the way, Gabriel once gave such a great meditation. I still remember that meditation you gave once about how the food, where it came from before it got to the table. Remember that? It was something that was awesome. You want to do that? You remember that?
Sure.
I wrote something here based on that meditation. I read it already, but it was based on you. It was based on you. You were the source of that. And again, I didn't give you attribution, but I was just, that was cool. Yeah. You know what it is? It's an obvious thing that nobody ever thinks about. What you did is you really just thought about where the food really comes from and gave that recognition so that it took us along that journey. And it could happen. You know what a tzaddik is? A tzaddik isn't somebody who sees something that never happened. He sees something that everyone sees all the time and never pays any attention to it. Right? You could see like a little kid crying. 10,000 people could walk by the little kid before one person says, "Where's your mother?" You know, like, what's going on here? You know, everyone saw a kid crying. I don't know, kids cry. Right? So all it takes is one person. That's Abraham. Echad haya Abraham. Right? Abraham was one because everyone was going by. They weren't paying any attention to what's going on. You got to pay attention. Anyway, carrots, berries, figs, pears, and raisins. We have all of those things. And more, even, as I mentioned. We have extra credits. Wine, for the world of Bria. Peter, we're ready to go to the next world. Tell Raina. Prepare the spaceship. By the way, Raina, you tell Raina we're going to the next world. She knows it. I tell her this is where we're in world 1, we're in world 2. She writes down on each thing, world 1, world 2. Yeah. The wine is red wine with a dash of white. This represents the power of the seasons becoming more illuminated and warmer. Okay. We're almost done with the world of Bria. The world of Bria represents, on page 20, the seat of the divine glory. That's the seat is like a chair or a throne. It's also where you sit down. Imagine when you want to see somebody, you have a sit down. You don't have if you don't have time, you stand. If you have time, you sit down.
Let's have a sit down.
Exactly. So when God wants to connect with you on the world of Bria, he says, let's have a sit down. I really want to reveal myself to you. It's also considered the first world to be created ex nihilo, whatever that means. So, something from nothing. In that the souls and angels that inhabit this world begin to have a slight perception of themselves, because they have a lot of divine awareness, but they're beginning to have self-perception. And through the main focus of divine, they begin to have a sense of purpose. In the world of Bria, a person finds that ideas can inspire lasting change. This is done through his hisbonenut, meditation and contemplation, in which the practitioner practices the knowledge of the divine. Or if you believe in the Rambam's way, when you think deeply of Torah until the idea of the Torah changes who you are, changes the way you perceive things, you stop being so self-absorbed. Similarly, in the world of Rabbi Ashlag, we're going to be learning about on Sunday, when you study Torah, which is Binah, with your understanding, when your mind becomes the conduit, becomes the antenna to receive divine understanding of Torah, so then who you are, your perception changes, your attitude changes, the ideas change what you want, what your priorities are. You become a mensch, you become a real full human being. You embody a principle of why you're put into this world, and you understand what it is, rather than just, in Yiddish you say, stumbling about. prayer before eating the world of in the world of Bria. So go ahead and take your fruits, and we're going to say the prayer and the bracha, and then we'll drink the wine.
We have
Grape
strawberries.
juice. I had port after with dessert the other night, and I was like, "This is port. It's just Manischewitz. We should have just remarketed Manischewitz as port." Same thing. I was like, "This is port. It's just like the sweet kosher wine."
It wasn't a good port, that's for
Probably,
sure.
I don't know what to compare it to. It's not like there's a whole bunch of choices.
No, there's a small number.
I mean, the kosher one.
Yeah, there's a small number of kosher.
said
A couple, at least in
I
all
had the
the
kettle. It tasted like Manischewitz.
Right, that's not good then.
This tasted sweeter than Manischewitz.
Not good. What is this? Not an apple? What is that?
Oh, it's a pear. Okay, now we're going to take fruit here. May it be your will that through the eating of these fruits, we unify the Holy One, blessed be He, and the Shekhinah. Through the eating of this fruit, may I rectify within my own soul some part of my relationship with the world of creation, with consumption and food, so that I may have energy to do good in the world, so that I may elevate the sparks which have fallen into the world, so that they may be extracted from their shells and rise, so that the light of Tohu may be reintegrated into the world of Tikkun. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam bayei priyos.
I need more of those hairs.
special for them. Drink the grape juice. We're gonna pour ourselves red grape juice with a little bit of white, or you could just pour yourself the blush. That's the right color. There's a lot of sugar. You could add seltzer to the grape juice. Make it half seltzer. Sugar, if you can't handle the sugar. Okay, ready for Hagafen? I Hodu Lashem here. If you want to do any of that.
Sure.
Adonai, Adonai,
By the way, the Kabbalists, those who follow Arizal and so on, they actually have a practice of the four worlds when they daven every morning, both ascending and descending. So in case you like this, works for you. I could teach you how to do it every morning. Not that I do it, but at least I know how to do it in a theoretical way, you know. So yeah, there's amazing teachings about how each, it's like a ladder. You start in the world of Asiyah, and then you go, like in Brachot in the morning is Asiyah, and then Yitzira as you do Psukkah de Zimra, and then Bria, the Kriya Shema and its blessings, and then Atzilut is the Amidah. Yeah, it's an all-day practice. You gotta have nothing else to do. It's good for Shabbos. It's good for Shabbos. So now we're gonna go into the world of Atzilut. By the way, it's a big deal to have Bukser, to have carob. It's a
unique flavor.
Yeah, it's great. It's like God's chocolate.
Nothing tastes like it.
Yeah. And there's a famous story in the Talmud about Choni Amaga with the old man planting a carob tree. Okay, so now we're going to the world of Atzilut. The world of Atzilut is the world of emanation. And it's on the bottom of page 24 in this year's edition, for those following online, and everyone here, it's in the middle of 23. Middle of 23, world of Atzilut. Emanation is a subtle form of radiance that is associated with its source, that it can't easily be identified on its own. Because the world the world of Atzilut is like the word etzla, which means right next to something. Or B'Ya'atzel min haruach, when God said, take from your spirit and put it on the 70 elders, Moses, the word in the Torah is B'Ya'atzel, same root as Atzilut. So that when God has the thing, and he's being, right? He's being netzal, he's giving over this thing. The source and the emanation are indistinguishable, meaning it's hard to distinguish the divine and the world of Atzilut. The world of Atzilut is called the world of the divine. The Kabbalists say that in the world of Atzilut, God and his light are one, and God and his vessels are one. In effect, it is a world subsumed with such intense divine awareness that self-awareness does not exist. This emanation actually permeates all of the worlds, right? The truth is, in each of the worlds, there's some part of the upper world in it, concealed and able to somewhat be revealed, right? That's the whole concept of this ladder and these ideas of giluyim, what we call something that was concealed becoming revealed, or going up on the ladder of spiritual consciousness to become aware of the higher realms within the lower realms and so on. But what truly defines the world of Atzilut, this emanation actually permeates all the worlds, but it's what truly defines the world of Atzilut. This world represents union with the divine. So when we say being united with God, that really means being on that level of the world of Atzilut. When the individual soul is reabsorbed into its divine source. At this level, prayer is no longer about words, but at its essence about achieving unity with everything that is. Like you are in a state of oneness. A story from the Baal Shem Tov. There was a king who had a beautiful daughter, and the daughter had many suitors. The king announced a competition for the suitors. He would put the princess in a tower. Sounds like a Hollywood movie. Surrounded by moats, thickets, and high walls covered with oil and blocked by many obstacles. The one who would be able to reach the princess at the top of the tower would win her hand in marriage. Many men desiring the king's wealth and the power that would come with marrying the princess took up the challenge. One by one, they ascended the great hill, only to be held back by the bristles and thickets and thorns. Those not deterred by the bloody gashes on their skin got stuck at the moat. Those who got past the moat and the high walls still could not climb the greasy tower. But one man was focused not on the obstacles, but on the princess. His heart was full of love for her, so much that nothing else in the world mattered. Unlike the other suitors, he never stopped thinking about the princess. With every step, his yearning became more intense. He went through the moat and climbed from tower to tower, risking his life at every turn. And as he made his way up the treacherously slick walls, all the obstacles disappeared. It was suddenly clear that the challenges had never been real. They were an illusion created to find the one that had the strongest love for the princess. And of course, the story has a happy ending. The young man gets to the princess and they live happily ever after. Like the hero in the story. By the way, there's a theory out there that the people who wrote the movies, like the happily ever after romance movies, were Jewish people who were descendants of Hasidic rabbis that based the whole idea, the fairy tale, the romantic fairy tale, the rom-com, on the unification of the Holy One, blessed be He, and the Shekhinah.
What about the ones who wrote the Christmas songs?
Everyone has to make a living. Okay, like the hero in the story, we face tremendous obstacles in our lives. We must overcome them by focusing on our goal, getting to the heavenly princess. As we come closer to the world of Atzilut, by the way, there's the beautiful story in the Zohar about the princess without eyes. It doesn't mean she was blind, it just means nobody saw her. She was there, but nobody was paying any attention because she was behind the curtain. Same idea, you gotta be open to seeing what other people are not paying any attention to. As we come closer to the world of Atzilut, the concealments that are so much at the heart of the world of action, the inner obstacles that remain in the world of formation, and the subtle sense of separation that exists within the world of creation all recede into the background when it becomes clear that all that exists is within the divine. We already did the Shira Asavim.
So this is what we were singing before.
Yeah, we did that already.
Sing something else.
And yeah, we'll sing something else. And we don't have fruits for the world of Atzilut because it's beyond fruits. But we do drink red wine. And we're going to also take out some of the besamim and smell the besamim. Does somebody know where the besamim are in the Peter, you want to get the besamim? From the Havdalah besamim.
Oh
So we're gonna pour some red grape juice for ourselves. And first we're gonna make a besamim. So we'll open up the spices. And they say that the only one of the senses that wasn't affected by the sin of the Eitz Hadas was the sense of smell. It's the only sense that's not mentioned in the psukim there. So it's a little more spiritual. We still make a bracha on it because we still benefit from it, but it's like an intangible benefit almost. There's a strange Gemara. I might have a little thing written about it that asks why do we make the bracha before we smell? The question is, why is that even a question? Like, we always make the bracha before. We don't make the bracha after we eat. I mean, I'm talking about the bracha rishona. And the answer is that smell, I would think it's almost like that's the only way you can even begin to know it's there, by smelling it first. So I'd have, just like a fruit, you have to hold the fruit, not just have it on a shelf. So I would think maybe you got to already begin to have a sense of it before that you know it's, because it's so intangible. So that's the havamim. The maskana is, now you, like every other bracha, you first make the bracha and then you partake in it. So let's make the bracha. Wow, that is gewalt.
When the rabbi is talking, I can understand most of what he says.
It's far away.
Yeah, the sound isn't that good.
What's all the snacks for? Is that for tomorrow or for the?
The cookies are for tomorrow night, and so is the fruit. I have to wash and cut up the strawberries.
Put some of that in the fridge.
Blueberries. Oh, thank you, honey. Appreciate that. Yeah, that's for tomorrow night.
All right. What?
Yeah, because Rabbi asked me to bring some fruit. Doing that. And the pickles are there in the fridge.
It's like a healthy.
It is. Do you want to, I have one open. I'm noshing them right now.
I do want to try it.
Yeah. I think
Once again, singing a
they're
song, so that
Yeah.
God's name may
You're
be
welcome to
praised
have
from
some.
now and
Yes.
forever.
I'm trying not to eat the whole bag though. Oh, it's so easy. You know what is
Shana,
terrorists are now.
Yeah,
I don't know about all that. You know,
I mean, more
they
is like,
protected presidents. They didn't let you know.
I guess what I mean more is a little bit like,
We
Okay.
are a spiritual show. That's
like,
what
you know, Kanye West had
everybody's
his like mental breakdown and said a bunch of crazy Nazi stuff. I don't know.
Yeah, he did. I
There's
heard
some
about
people who
that.
like his music. I don't like his music, but some people like it. I'm not gonna tell them, oh, you better get him off your hit all his old music off your playlist and never listen to it again. Like whatever. Like if you like the song, listen to it. You don't have to. It doesn't mean listening to the song is, oh, I'm a Nazi
Right.
now.
But I wouldn't, if I liked his music, which I probably wouldn't, I don't know, I haven't heard it. But I've heard of his name and I've heard about all this Nazi stuff. But
He
if,
apologized.
say if I like, yeah, but I heard it
I'm
was a great
crazy. No,
apology.
it was greatly insane, as he always is.
Yeah.
He was speaking. He posted it in Hebrew first of all, as in, like it's a Google Translate Hebrew. Like
Oh, I heard it wasn't a great apology, but anyway, let's pretend I like his music.
And if those who had
And
emotions,
Bubby Bubby,
have emotions.
I didn't know much.
we're unmuted.
We are.
Yeah.
Rabbi Newman says, I think it's, Narizal says, to have in mind that you should get a good esrog when you daven today.
Ah, yes, indeed.
Okay, I'm gonna go for
Are you gonna find this Haftarah for me? Eventually.
I didn't think that.
Stop recording.